What if the god of destruction, Beerus, isn't as invincible as he seems? Now, we've seen him effortlessly erase planets and overpower the strongest Saiyans. He cannot escape. So prepare to have your perception of Beerus potentially shattered as we dive into this surviving truth, unpacking his true weaknesses and fears. Now, there's this illusion of omnipotence with Beerus here. The unveiling that he is initially unstoppable, that is obviously fear-inducing. It creates the fear-inducing deity image he has, right? And briefly, when we touch on his earlier appearances in the show, specifically for the first time, it displays that power and that really cements his image as a true god of destruction that you have to fear. He wasn't to be taken lightly. In the show, Akira and staff made sure we knew that very early on, right? So there's this subtle influence from Whis, right? And how he constantly manipulates and guides Beerus because he has to. He's his mentor. He waits on Beerus, essentially, for whatever Beerus needs or wants. But also, Whis is not a pushover, and he is still responsible for channeling Beerus to go in the right direction that Whis believes is in best interest of Universe 7, and probably overall still the general cosmos if they have to have a help or an influence there. We've seen Whis obviously have words or actions that have directly prevented Beerus from making rash decisions or fully exerting his power. This is the clear implication that, of course, Beerus is, essentially his own master, but still not really, right? He's powerful, but he's still a little bit of a pawn when you look at the relationship between him and Whis. Beerus cannot just decide he wants to erase Whis. It doesn't quite work like that, right? Now, there's a nightmare side of what we look at with Beerus in regards to Whis' father, the Grand Priest. You're probably wondering what's the connection there. Beerus' obvious and documented fear that we've seen of the Grand Priest and Zeno on screen, that's not lightly, right? It examines how these type of characters that we didn't have any prior indications of outside of maybe a couple of sentences to seeing them on screen. We didn't expect to see someone of Beerus' stature and nature essentially show so much humility and vulnerability in the face of Zeno and, of course, the Grand Priest. Now, this isn't just about potential punishment, why Beerus and others respect them. It's really the ultimate nullification of their existence and purpose. They do not exist without Zeno and Grand Priest saying that they're allowed to exist, and that's for anybody in the Dragon Ball cosmos, but specifically for the gods of destruction like Beerus, that connection is even more closer than it would be compared to someone like a mortal, like the traditional Z fighters or civilians on planet Earth or even other planets in the Dragon Ball multiverse. So wrapping this up, we have this culinary compromise that has obviously been revealed to us, and that's highlighting Beerus' vulnerability to earthly cuisine and the role in him and Whis to essentially only arrive on Earth if they want to, enjoy some food that Bulma or chefs have obviously whipped up. It's a little quirky bit, but it's a genuine weakness that they have that can also and has been used and leveraged against them. These deity beings, an angel and a god of destruction, can be seduced with good smelling food and snacks, and you know what I mean? Like, you can't make it up, right? That is such, I feel like that's such a crutch to Whis and Beerus that if the Z fighters and Bulma and Goku and Vegeta really, and don't get me wrong, they've taken advantage of it, but not really intentionally to exploit it at every will. Well, I should say Goku is on the verge of that because he's using that as a means to go train as often as he can on Whis' home world. But let's be honest, Whis wants them there, and Beerus complains about it, but he secretly is okay with it as well because this is all part of a general bigger training experience that I think is happening and going on. So last but not least, you have the burden of Beerus being a destroyer. There's philosophical implications with his role, the loneliness that comes with it, right? Hence why he has kind of this new thing for Chalet, right? I don't know how that's going to work out. Chalet, Broly, Beerus. Yikes. I could totally see something happening. Would you guys be willing to bet there could be a potential skirmish with Broly and Beerus over Chalet? Like, be serious. Answer me that in the comment section below. There's anxieties that come with Beerus' job, his role, right? Some of which none of us may have ever experienced or currently experience in our life, right? These collective fears they may seem little, but they actually paint a more complex and relatable character, which is why I love Beerus and Whis as characters that were introduced. I remember fans were not happy with them in the series. I'm like, guys, this is great. Dragon Ball's always been about hierarchy and power dynamics. These two coming in allows us to have more Dragon Ball. Yes, it may get a little bit ridiculous, but come on, life is such that way too when you start looking at things, so it's not that much different. Yeah, I think Beerus is one of those characters that you look at and you think he's not vulnerable in ways, and him and Whis both show with their culinary delights they can be as vulnerable as any mere mortal. Just my thoughts and my research. You guys feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully you've been enjoying these. Make sure to smash the like button if you have, and subscribe, most importantly, for more weekly and daily Dragon Ball discussion topic such as these. If you have any comments, topics you want me to discuss as well, feel free to drop those in the comment section below, and I will get you shouted out and get that done within a couple of weeks. So until next time, Kaioken Striker sent it out. Have a great, fantastic day. We'll see you later. Goodbye.